It's often said that a movie is made 3 times. Once when you write it, once when you shoot it, and once when it's cut together. Nowhere do I think that's more true than Sean Baker's 2024 masterpiece, Anora. Sean Baker is a great example of how a filmmaker can be successful working outside the conventional studio system. Baker wrote, directed, and edited Anora, and he won an Oscar for each of those positions. Even so, Baker would likely agree that a movie is written 3 times.
I truly appreciate the recognition for this because, God, if you saw that footage, I saved this film in the edit, trust me. That director should never work again.
Editing's impact on how the final product of the film turns out cannot be overstated. It's in the editing process where all the audio and video clips you've captured in production are finally put together. Sometimes these ideas pan out exactly as you intended. Other times, there are ideas that work in theory, but may not translate to the final picture. And there are plenty of ideas that jump out at you in the middle of editing the film. A big part of what makes editing so powerful is contrast. Using post-production to draw attention to similarities or point out differences can have a huge impact on how your audience perceives your story. Take the Kuleshov effect, for example. Kuleshov would show an audience different images in between the same shots of an actor's reaction. The audience thought that the actor changed their facial expressions with different images. In reality, it was the same shot used over and over again. The context drastically changed what the audience felt. It's this compare and contrast that gives the audience context and meaning. My favorite part of Anora has to be the movie's ending. Let's look at the ending scene of Anora to see just how Sean Baker uses contrast and editing to tell Anora's story. Spoilers for the ending of Anora ahead. At the end of Anora, Annie, a sex worker, has just annulled her marriage with Vanya after realizing he didn't really love her. She spent her last night in Vanya's mansion packing up her things in preparation to go back to her old home with one of Vanya's henchmen, Igor. As the next morning rolls around, Igor drops Annie off at her house. But before Annie leaves, Igor gives her the engagement ring Vanya bought her as a last kind gesture. This is where the last scene starts.
This car is very you.
Do you like it?
No.
It's my grandmother's.
Annie begins to straddle Igor in the car, but as Igor leans in for a kiss, the film ends here. The scene is very powerful. Actors Yura Borisov and Mikey Madison are giving phenomenal performances. It's clear that Sean Baker put a lot of thought into this ending scene.
I consider endings to be the most important part of cinema storytelling because I don't want to sit down and start writing a screenplay and realizing months down the road I don't know how to end this thing.
But for those who have watched Anora, you'll know this isn't the first time we've seen sex in the movie. In fact, it's probably the least explicitly intimate display in the entire film. So how does such a brief moment of intimacy feel so close and personal? Let's look at some of the methods of contrast used in the editing. Color plays a big role in the rest of the film. The color at many of the locations where sex is presented in the film, like the nightclubs, Vegas, and the party at Vanya's place, are dark locations with splashes of bright and vibrant light. It makes us feel loud and overstimulated. This final scene, however, is lit more evenly with dull colors. It puts us in the reality of the situation. It tells us that the fun and promiscuity of earlier scenes are over and gives off a serious air. Another big element of this feeling is the shot variety and selection used as the scene plays out. Many moments in the film are shot in action-heavy wides and handheld that communicates the excitement and comedy of the story to the audience. But here, the camera is the steadiest it's been the whole movie. It's slow, resting almost. The camera is in a subjective point of view, allowing Annie and Igor to be the closest they have been in the whole film, and the closest the audience has been to them. The pacing of the editing also plays a huge role in the impact of this moment. Annie is often found talking over others or getting aggressive in a conversation. It's used plenty as a comedic element in earlier scenes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Where are you going?
The car.
It's 5-minute walk.
No, I'm not walking down that.
No, I'm not gonna look for other parking. Come on, let's go.
But let's compare that to how Igor and Annie speak to each other in the car.
This car is very you.
Do you like it?
No.
The tempo of the dialogue shows Annie and Igor's attentiveness to one another in this moment. We have time to listen to what they are saying, to see each other, and process it. The pacing of the cuts follows suit. They give us time to read the actor's reaction before their response. This back and forth slows down to a glacial pace. It heightens the tension and leaves us leaning forward on the edge of our seats. When you look at how much work was put into just one scene, it's no wonder the film won an Oscar for Best Editing. Sean Baker's careful attention to each scene and how they contrast gives us the perfect context to understand this final moment within the rest of the film. All these things work in combination to create an incredible ending full of emotional vulnerability that sticks with you long after you've left the theater.